Hey, what's happening, people? Guess who? Who else? This is Greg, aka Crazy G, with NECR New England Concert Reviews, and I am here today yet again with another totally talented artist, and he comes from an alternative indie pop band from South Yorkshire, UK. He is the guitarist, vocalist Simon Thompson for the band the Alvarez Kings. Hello, welcome, and thanks for hitting us up here at NECR. What's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Not bad.
Yeah, it's good, mate. We've just rocked up to Nottingham. We have a show tonight in Nottingham, in England. So, yeah, we're on the road. So it's always better when you're touring and playing live music, and it's good times. We've got the album out as well, so it's even better.
That's a definite for sure. And the Alvarez Kings are an alternative indie pop band from South Yorkshire, UK. Can you briefly tell us how the band came to life?
Yeah, so my brother's in the band as well, so we started jamming music as kids, and then Richard and Sean came along when we sort of decided to try and be, a professional band, I guess, or as professional as you can be. And yeah, we just started writing music together and touring and stuff, and that's where we came from. And luckily along the way we picked up an awesome manager we've been with now for some years, and we love her dearly. And then she got us signed to Warner Brothers and Fire Records. So yeah, that's where we're at now.
Cool, very awesome. You know, as you mentioned, you gave us a little hint there. The band just released their first full-length debut CD to the world called Somewhere Between. What do you want to tell us about this highly anticipated CD?
It was a good few years in the making. I know a lot of fans that we made from the beginning were just screaming for us to release our album, and then we sort of waited for the right moment and right time to drop it. But it's our life's work, and people ask, because I always say it's our greatest hits, which it is really, because we've gone through so many songs that haven't made the cut over the years. So we sort of stuck with 11 songs that we felt would it was just what we felt would work with the album, with the debut album, and that would fully promote what we're trying to say and what we're trying to achieve.
The first song of this CD is called Cold Conscience. It's a perfect opening track for this CD. What can you tell us about that song?
Yeah, so that's sort of had a couple of sort of makeovers over the last couple of years or so. It started off as just like a really sort of indie rock, sort of punky vibe song back in the day, and then we've sort of gave it a new burst alive. We got really heavy on synth playing and production techniques. Luckily, Sean in the band's really he's got he was doing a degree in music sort of production, so he's really was really good with that sort of stuff, which is something that we needed in the band, and definitely has worked out great for us. So we were able to program a lot of things on Sean's laptop to have that ability to make sort of high production sounding songs. And then when we took it to the actual studio, we could actually recreate all that stuff live, but on actual sort of analog vintage 1980s synthesizers. So that worked out great for Cold Conscience, and with it being the opening track, it sort of just slowly builds in, and then it sort of kicks in and gets the wheels rolling on the album.
There's another one that I think is also a great track, and that's Run From You. To me, it has a different tone and feeling from the rest. What was the process for that song, and did you approach it any different from the rest?
Yeah, it's funny you should ask that, actually, because the approach to that song was really different to every other song. I remember I was sat at home, and I think I got up to go and get a drink from the kitchen and started just singing this I will never run from you, and I don't know where it came from. It happens all the time, and I always just get my phone out and I record it on my notes, voice notes in my phone, and then I started coming up with verses as well, and I just straight away I emailed it to Sean, and I said to Sean, I was like, dude, I've got this idea. I want it to be a slow burner, a building song, almost like an intro song to a live set. He run away with the idea, and the next thing you know, we've got this song, and then we started rehearsed it, put all our ideas and parts down, and that's how it came about, how it was created.
Your sound has an 80s theme feel to it. I can't deny it. I'm curious to know, who are some of your and the band's musical influences?
So, well, I mean, my musical taste sort of stems from the likes of Bob Dylan, right through to like Bring Me the Horizon. So I listen to everything and everything in between. Sort of influence-wise for the album, I would say we were listening a lot to Tears for Fears, a lot of like 80s synth pop bands. We're really into a band called The Folds, the Maccabees, bands like that, and like I don't know if you've heard of the artist Jack Garrett as well.
Nice. Yes. You know, it's funny. I was talking to somebody last night after screening your CD, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And I'm like, you know, I didn't want to compare you to anybody, but I was trying to get a roundabout idea of who you guys sounded like. And the person I was talking to actually said Tears for Fears. And I was like, you know what? You're absolutely correct. Obviously, they are a heavy influence on you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we were in LA recording the album, we were driving to and from our place we were staying to the studio, and most mornings we would just stick on Tears for Fears, and the track Sleepwalking Part 2, Part 1 of that song is actually just an acoustic song, and it's wrote in 2 different time signatures, and it was never meant to be an Alvarez Kings song. I used to play it as like a filler sort of song when we did headline shows, to fill out the set. I would just play it on my own, and then the label really loved it, and they were like, this has to be on the album. So when we got out to LA, we were like, no way this song is fitting on the album. Everything else is really like vibing and synthy and 80s. There's just no room for an acoustic song. And then we were sat with Carlos Delgado, who's the producer, and I just came up with this idea of the Tears for Fears, like like that sort of feel to it, like Everybody Wants to Rule the World. And then that's sort of where it sort of wrote a brand new song right in the studio, and it became one of the standout tracks on the album. Super cool.
Yeah, definitely. The Alvarez Kings are just about to embark on a U.S. tour in a couple weeks. You started off right here in Massachusetts at Sonia's nightclub in Cambridge on June 15th. What can you say about this tour and this specific show?
This tour is our first headline tour in America. So technically, the show in Cambridge will be our first ever headline show in the US. So we're really excited to come back up that way. We played in Boston last year with with Melanie Martinez, and we're good friends with the Paris guys as well. I believe are from that neck of the woods. We're just excited to come and play the album and just give everyone that's coming to the show that's bought a ticket as much as we can give to sort of warrant people buying tickets. Just give them a hell of a show and give it our all, really.
Sweet, yes. You know, real quickly, I gotta ask, and if you can explain it briefly, how did you guys come up with the name for the band?
It's not really that interesting, to be honest, but the name of the band was sort of the last piece of the jigsaw puzzle. We weren't too really like hung up on the name, so it was really simple. There was just a few names passed around, and none of the names nobody really liked, nobody agreed. And then we were just one of the members was searching sort of mafioso sort of gangs and Italian cultures, and like Hispanic cultures as well. And the name came up, Alvarez Kings, and it was a gang, mafia gang from the 50s or the 60s, and we were just like, well, yeah, that sounds cool, and sort of stuck, really.
Yeah, no kidding. No, it's still an interesting story how it came about. Obviously, we, mentioned a couple things already, but there's something in your bio that said the Alvarez Kings traveled halfway across the world to Los Angeles in the spring of 2016. You were holding up in Burbank's famed Ocean Studios. You cut the album in just 3 weeks with producer Carlos de la Garza, Paramore. What was that experience working with Carlos like?
Oh, it's just it was incredible. I mean, just to sort of, record an album in the States alone, and, the opportunity to go to LA, which is where our label's based, was just fantastic, and it was just a good vibe, like, all the way through the album, and Carlos really kicked our butts. He was a hard worker, and he got the best out of us. I mean, me personally, like, I'm really sort of self-conscious with my vocals, and I'm always like thinking things aren't good enough, I need to do better, this take needs to be better, this recording needs to be better, and he was really good. He got me in the zone. He sort of like put me in his live room at his home studio through the vocals. Sort of got some nice mood lighting set up, and he was like, just go for it, dude, and give it your all. And He would tell me when it was awesome, and he would tell me when it could be better. He knew when I had more in the tank. It was just good, and like I said earlier, with Sleepwalking Part 2, we all worked on that together. That was, you know, the five of us, the Alvarez Kings call us, we all sort of worked on that at that moment to produce that particular track. So, you know, I'll never forget that. It was a great experience with that song alone, but just the entire recording process was just super smooth, and you know, if we do get a chance to do another album, which I hope we do, then, you know, definitely going to be knocking on Carlos's door to get back in the studio with him.
I like this entire CD, honestly. I grew up in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s. It was just, you know, a lot of great music, and you guys have taken that stamp, if you want to call it, and made it your own with this album. The band has done quite a bit since its beginning in 2012. What sticks out more regarding accomplishments, for a lack of a better term, records, so to speak, for the band than any other, and why?
I definitely got to say the album. It's like one of those on the bucket list. You know, we've done EPs, we've done singles. It's always aiming for one huge goal, and that's to get your album out there. But I'd like to tie that in as well with getting obviously signed to Fire Records and Warner Brothers Records. You know, that's sort of proud moment when you can say to your parents, you know, look, we got signed and we've got an album. Like, it was a really sort of standout landmark moment for all of us. I can speak for every one of us on that one.
Cool. And we've gone over, Simon, just one more quick question and then I'll let you go. Other than what we covered, is there anything else you want to tell us about the Alvarez Kings we might not know about? And is there any additional info you want to share with us?
Something you might not know. I don't know. I think we pretty much let everyone into our lives through social media. So I feel like everyone knows everything about us. I mean, some people might not know that me and Paul are brothers, so that's one thing. But in terms of, you know, we're really excited for this US tour. We can't wait to see everyone. We can't wait to play the shows and give it our all, and hopefully people will enjoy the show, and, you know, we'll come back again and again and again and keep touring, because we love touring the States. The States, more than anywhere, has been really good to us, so we can't thank America enough for embracing us and letting us do what we love doing and doing our dream.
Totally on board with you. And at this time, I want to thank you, Simon Thompson, vocalist, guitarist for the alternative indie pop band from South Yorkshire, UK, the Alvarez Kings. I wish you the best on this upcoming US tour. I wish you the best on your debut CD, Somewhere Between. And, you know, all the best, man. Good luck.
Thank you very much. I mean, make sure you come to the show and be our guest and stuff, and we'll catch a beer.
Yeah, hey, sounds like a plan, man.
Yeah, dude.
Well, hopefully we'll talk soon then.
Yes, man. Have a good day. Speak soon.
You
Thanks
too.
for the time. Bye now.
That was Simon Thompson, vocalist, guitarist for the alternative indie pop band Alvarez Kings. Check them out. Their new CD, Somewhere Between, is pretty awesome. And don't forget, they're going to be here in Massachusetts for their headlining tour at Sonia's nightclub in Cambridge, Mass. on June 15th. Once again, I am Greg, aka Crazy G, for New England Concert Reviews, NECR, and I'll be back. I am out of here. Peace.